Okay, so welcome, and today we're going to start talking about signed numbers and adding signed numbers. Okay, so what is a signed number? We'll get there. So let's talk about numbers in general. Okay, so remember, numbers, you can look at numbers as just sets of objects. Okay, so the first set of objects that we're going to talk about are these numbers, the numbers 1 through infinity. So the numbers that start with 1 and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so on. These are what we call the counting numbers, or more technically called the natural numbers. These are the natural numbers. Okay, which usually is denoted by a bold-faced N. Okay, then what happens to the next set? So there's another set that includes the natural numbers, but what if you add 0 to the natural numbers? Now the set becomes a little bigger, and now it becomes whole numbers, right? So the whole numbers is the set of all the natural numbers plus 0, okay? Okay. Now, what if you take the opposite values of the natural numbers? What if you include those? What if you include all the negative or the opposite values of the natural numbers? Now it becomes the set of integers. Okay, and that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with talking about integers. So signed numbers. So signed numbers is any number that's either negative, positive, or 0. Okay, those are signed numbers. So that would include integers. Okay, so but there are other numbers that are also signed numbers that we'll talk about later. Okay, but so let's talk about these integers. Okay, so on the number line, so we have the real number line here, and you can see that we have 0, then we have 1, 2 going up this way, so the natural numbers go to the left, they're positive, right? And then the other integers, which are the opposite values of the natural numbers, are on the left. Okay, so this goes off to negative infinity, this goes off to positive infinity, okay? But also notice that they're matched, right? So 1 is the same distance from 0 as negative 1, okay? Negative 2 is the same distance, but in the opposite direction of positive 2. So this is where the idea of opposite numbers, right? So negative 1 and 1 are opposites of each other. Negative 2 and 2 are opposites of each other. Okay? Now, also, what about this idea of size? Well, we can also get that from the number line. So again, position matters, right? So notice that as you go to the right on the number line, right, from 0, it gets larger. The numbers get larger, okay? Now, as you go to the left, the numbers are not getting larger, okay? Even though they're getting larger in magnitude, right, as far as absolute value, but they're negative. So as you go to the left on the number line, you're getting smaller. Just like if I start over here, if you go to the left, you're going to smaller numbers. So going from right to left, you're going to smaller numbers. If you go from left to right, it's always larger numbers, which gives us, again, an idea of greater than or less than. So we know that a number is greater than, so for example, if I have 1, and I pick negative 2. Well, looking at the position, because there's a ranking here on the number line, right, as I just explained. So if I have 1 and negative 2, well, then I immediately know that 1 is greater than negative 2 because it's to the right of negative 2. Or negative 2 is less than or smaller than 1 because it is to the left of 1. And so this brings up the idea of using less than or greater than, the inequalities. So we could say that negative 2 is less than 1, or we can say 1 is greater than negative 2. Okay? So now, how do we determine which one to do? Okay? Well, again, I kind of already alluded to, but here's the steps. Okay? First, you mentally position the two numbers on a number line. Okay? And then the leftmost number is always smaller than the rightmost number. Okay? So the number on the left is always smaller than the number on the right. That's all you have to remember. Okay? And then you can use whichever inequality is appropriate. Okay? And that's it. So next time we'll do some examples. Take care.